Hey everyone, we're about 2 weeks into the new Ark Nova Arena season with Marine World, and these are the current standings. So today we're going to look at a couple of replays from the player Chen233. They've been around for a long time. I remember them competing back in Arena Season 1 or 2. Like, they've played Ark Nova for a long time. They're also a very strong Agricola player, so I knew them before Ark Nova even. But they have some. So, I mean, you can see, they've been up around 600, 700 since, I'm guessing this is about 2023 September. They took a long break for a while, and it seems like they've just suddenly come back for Marine World, so bit of a losing streak, then straight back up. And yeah, they have very old school stats at the moment. Particularly with the upgrades, we see 3.9 upgraded actions, which is extremely high, meaning most games they get all four upgrades. Basically means they never take worker at 2 CP. They always get their unis and partner zoos. And particularly with the build upgrade, 95%, cards 95%. So extremely high upgrade rates. You can also get a feel for how much someone's played Marine Worlds based on how many sea animal icons they have in their stats. 0.48 is... Well, the stats count your last 500 games, so... I don't know, maybe 100, 150 Marine World games in the last 500, roughly, I would say. Mine is about similar. I'm actually curious how much sea animals are in JD's stats, because that'll give us a really good indication of what a normal number is. Yeah, JD's sitting at 2.22, so I think you can pretty much tell that's nearly 500 out of 500 games that are Marine World. Maybe a normal average if all your 500 games are Marine World is 2 to 3 or something. Anyway, on to the replays. So first game is Chen up against Nico Ni. We're on Observation Tower. Does make build over Rockwater slightly more interesting. It's probably the strongest card out of these anyway, but this allows you to just get those extra tower spots. Seeing as Chen does like the upgrade build, it does have some benefit giving you money back when you cover Rockwater. Yeah, we're not too interested in the Asosa lets you grab partner zoos from the supply. I think it's overall probably a net negative. It's a weird one because it can really help you get something like 5 Americas, but then it means that you also just can't like block your opponent getting 2 Americas. And snapping cards is, yeah, you don't typically want to be doing a cards action at power 3, which is the only benefit this gives you. Hello, Mike. So I think build over Rockwater is a fairly obvious first pick. For the next two, no discard cards can be okay. Usually means you really want hand size with this, or you want some way to sell or pouch cards. Clever Association or Determination Association. I actually don't mind the upgraded side of it. Instead of donating, you can just draw a card for free. Can be useful. Does take that, and also the other Assos one comes back, so okay, does decide to go with the Clever Assos. Opening hand. So reptiles, okay, end goals also Conservation Zoo. They are easily the new the best end game in Marine World because it got buffed. Now if you do 5 projects, you get 4 CP. I think the average top player is doing 4 point something projects a game, so you're nearly guaranteed to get 3 or 4 CP from this if you have it. Specialized species. I don't mind this either. Particularly if you go heavy on something like Sea Animals when it's not a project. You get a lot of reef animals. This can be an easy one to hit, but I mean, with Conservation Zoo, it's pretty much a no-brainer. But yeah, onto the projects. Reptiles. That makes the saltwater crocodile quite good here. Double reptile can easily just do reptiles 2 in round 2. Could potentially go for 4 reptiles with the native lizards as well. Don't mind it. Science Lab in general is just a really strong card. We're probably starting Australia. Well, we want to start with Australia Partners for the croc. So maybe research is a bit too delayed for this, but I could see research or school tours. Our sponsor starts at 5. Probably want to build before we play native lizards, unless we're playing it for 0 CP, so it could be a reason to keep the school tours just to play that first move. That is what Chen decides to keep. But yeah, Nico is first player, and they have X token association, so they'll be able to get some nice early X tokens with that, and they did take the no discard cards. On the display, we do have our 4th reptile, so the chameleon should be a bit interested in. And Herbivore's the base project. There's a wombat and a reindeer. Reindeer even fitting America's too. Nico starts off with Science 2 rep. So would strongly suggest they have a sponsor that needs the 3 reputation. Otherwise, you'd typically want to play your sponsor first and then get the X token from doing the association. Chen does start off with the guided school tours. And Nico plays Meerkat Den. Like we said, with Herbies as a base project, very, very strong. Especially in Marine World, where you can just get these animal unis. This herbivore uni now gives points, an icon, and a herbivore. I'd be really worried if Nico's getting the herbivore university here. Hey, Harp Attack. But I think we still just go on with our plan of getting the Reptiles project up and running. Nico builds a 3 size. Oh yeah, and now especially the wombat with the meerkat den looks great. The reindeer even. Nico's starting with a 3 size. That could be something to flock with the reindeer, potentially. With the crocodile, you do have to start over the 5 money spot. There are 2 of them on observation tower, so Chen decides to start in the bottom left. Think it's fine. I think you could really make an argument for starting in either spot. I think personally I would have gone at the top. But not too much of a difference. You probably want to start on the left anyway, then we can get some nice native lizards points pretty quickly. Opponent just snaps up the wombat. Doesn't feel great snapping the wombat when they have no discard cards. You typically want to be drawing from the deck, so instead of getting 3 cards, I just get 1. But it's a good card. I mean, no complaints about getting the wombat there. Chen draws from the deck. Does hit a sea turtle tank. And that is reptile number 4. Now, the slight issue with sea turtle tank is it needs to touch 2 water spots. And on observation tower, that's very hard to do without getting build upgraded. Because there's basically a spot in the bottom right. There's a spot in the middle, but that's covered by the build. There's a spot at the top. Yeah, it's actually really hard to get these double water spots on observation tower. Probably get rid of the cheetah or the cassowary. Nico plays a langer, so I mean, thankfully for us, not a herbivore. But that will advance the break. Chen plays the crocodile. Oh, we see more reptiles, so I'd probably be looking to snap up one of these. Maybe I'd snap up the reindeer just to deny that. Okay, we do take the grass snake and landscape gardener. Especially if we're upgrading build, this is just such a good card, but yeah, Nico's going to cause the break here, and that makes for a painful discard. Um, what on earth do you even discard here? It's a tough one. I think you keep native lizards for sure. You keep one of the other reptiles, either the sea turtle tank or the grass snake. And maybe the science lab, maybe the landscape gardener. Chen decides to keep both the reptile sponsors and landscape gardener. Hmm. First move is a tough one. I would be absolutely terrified of just leaving the Herbivore University here. The big problem is taking it doesn't give us an upgrade, doesn't give us a build upgrade to place this sea turtle tank anywhere. So Chen decides to grab America's Partner Zoo for the matching project and upgrade build so we can place that sea turtle tank. Nico doesn't have a project but grabs hand size. I think that has to be a pretty sizable mistake. Hand size gets you the 2 upgrades immediately, but I mean, Herbivore University is so good here. I'm not sure on that one. They do upgrade build and animals, which is pretty old school themselves. Yeah, Sea Turtle Tank used to be 1 water, but it was changed to 2 and the sea animal icon in Marine World, which I think is a good change. It actually feels like a decent card to play now. Because this extra water tag can help for aquatic, aquarium. The double animal tags is great for species diversity races, or great or horrible, whichever way you want to look at it. So I think that's a good change for a Marine World. It does get played. Get to draw a card and sell. Draws a cougar and actually sells the landscape gardener, which I did not expect, but it's gone. I probably wouldn't have sold any. The thing is, we can still afford to fully build and play the cougar. I guess the thing with the landscape gardener is its native lizard is coming next, and then it's coming after that, so it's quite a long way away. But okay, opponent's fully building. Do Chaos Pavilion 1 size, and we know they want a 2 size for their wombat, and they take the panda from range. That's a scary sign. Jenna's gonna fully build here. Yeah, making use of this building over rock water, so getting that 3 size touching the tower. Draws up a Waza special assignment. Nice spot for a Chaos there, just getting more native lizards rocks here, or 1 rock here. And Pavilion touching 2 more rocks up here. Nico is going to just draw from the deck this time. Think that makes a lot of sense when you're about to play a wombat and you want extra cards to pouch. Chen just going to start by playing the cougar. I think probably could have afforded to do cards first, but maybe expecting the opponent's going to break. That's fine. Cougar's played. Opponent does play their wombat. Chen does cards here. I'd probably just be looking to snap away this rhino. Could draw from the deck. It's a tough call. Chen does decide to snap the rhino. I mean, it's definitely the scariest card on display. Especially when your opponent has Meerkat Den. So I can see that. Nico just causes the break. Yeah, currently pretty close. I mean, scores are level, income's basically level, money is level. Chen does have the advantage of having 4 reptiles ready to go and getting to 5 CP first. It doesn't look like opponent has a project yet, which is why I'm kind of surprised they didn't grab Herbivore University earlier. Yeah, Chen's playing native lizards. Even sea turtles tank away the Waza special, which I think could make sense if we're holding a rhino. Normally you'd want to use Waza special on small, but if we're holding a rhino, then we want to use it on, well, we don't want to use it on small. Nico grabs Africa Partner Zoo, which is very slow and maybe telegraphing that they really want the hippo here. So if I was Chen, I would definitely be looking at taking snapping. Think you could snap away the hippo first and maybe look at this Amazon house later, although it's really tough sitting on one reputation. Yeah, it's a very telegraphed move. Like, I would be denying this hippo instantly. Chen does take snapping. At 5 CP gets the bonus project cube. Yeah, upgrade sponsors. So that would be the first big tell is looking at the Amazon house, or that they're looking at the Amazon house. I think it's a slight mistake, but the opponent's very happy with this, obviously. So they're spending X to build 6. They built a 3 size. 3 size could potentially be for their panda for later. I'm not sure. Where to place Amazon? It's a good question. I mean, it should fit here over the rep, I think. It's just, yeah, the problem is getting to 6 reputation at this point, but I think Amazon house goes like that, probably. It should fit somewhere down this bottom here. Interesting sequence of actions. Chen deciding to X back animals first, instead of building then Xing back animals. But I think it makes some sense. You don't want to build then X back animals then build again. You do typically want to do build animals, but the problem is we don't have an animal to play next. So this will ensure that we can build then animals and build again only after animals are played. Opponent draws from the deck. Chen just going to fully build here. Kind of funny covering this other water spot, so now the sea turtle tank is touching 0 water. Hey, Lionel. Yeah, just the small aquarium, 1 size pavilion. Kiosk. Probably eyeing this Tambaki. It is a double project Tambaki. But obviously, as we know, Nico is going to play this hippo from range. Or after playing the spurred tortoise, though, gives some nice sunbathing value. Yeah, sunbathes 3 cards, then plays the hippo from range, and just goes straight into break 7. So who do we think is ahead right now? I'm putting Nico a little bit ahead. It's a close one, though. Chen does have the snapping income, so I'd probably be looking to take this Tambaki away. Also have to be a bit mindful about the raccoon. We know the opponent's probably still holding a panda, so you don't want to give him an easy bear icon. Yeah, Chen is going to start with cards. Actually snaps up the bison. So with Tambaki and bison, we do have 5 Americas. And actually, also sitting on 5 herbivores, funnily enough, with this extra cube. If all these get played, we have 5 herbies. Huh. Nico has a reptile breeding program, so now the Africa Partner Zoo makes a lot more sense to get both the hippo and the reptile breeding. They decide to take 5 money. Can make some sense if they want to get this panda out soon. And they did get a second worker from the from 8 rep. Yeah, Chen's still sitting at 1 rep. That's very awkward getting out Amazon house. So Chen just going to decide to start with... Oh, actually, good timing for Chen. They can leech off this reptile breeding program And they do decide to take the 1 shield 2 rep, which I think is a wise move, considering they want rep badly. They just take second worker. When it builds another 3 size. 1 size to drop the raccoons, we kind of expected. And a pavilion. Chen X's back sponsors. It's a bit of an interesting one, because it feels like it's almost neutral as to who wants to break or not. Both players have a worker. I guess for Chen, money's not really a problem at the moment. I guess Chen's also sitting without hand size and probably doesn't want to discard any of these. Yeah, Xing back upgraded sponsors is something that you don't see very often, because passing on 10 money is a lot of money to give up. Yeah, Nico does something that I really hate, which is just drawing everything from the deck at once. Just draw them one at a time. Like, there are so many hits that could have punished that draw. Yeah, it does allow for a strength 5 build for the Tambaki Bison. Just use the X-back animals first. Yeah, this is now the problem with having animals not upgraded here. Very, very awkward. Though it looks like it will be upgraded in a sec if we grab Science 2 Rep Uni. Nico just grabs second partner zoo here, which is Asia. Makes sense. We know that they have the panda. So now the panda is playable. Raccoon Panda is playable. Chen does grab Science 2 Rep to upgrade animals. That animals will also get rep number 6 to play Amazon House. Okay, Nico gets to 10 rep, draws up a Tasmanian Devil, plays Raccoon, and plays the Tas Devil. It does seem very slow. So, I mean, the real question is, does the Amazon House make up for the slow tempo? The answer might be maybe, because it gives a lot of points for free. It gives a very important herbivore tag for free. But it really depends on Nico not finishing the game quickly. And I think Nico's pretty close to finishing this game. Sitting at 44 points, we know they have a Panda and a 4 CP project minimum coming in. Choosing not to boost up Assos with the Raccoon. I mean, both players are out of workers. Chen's just going to... Oh, Chen's actually just going to do animals at 3 here. I think this is very slow. I don't know if there's much use in playing the Octopus right now. I feel like I'd really just want to get the 5 size down and get the Bison played. Okay, we play the Tambaki. It's not too much better that we can hit other than Conservation Zoo. Yeah, plays the Octopus as well. Does give a Venom, but yeah, money's not really an issue for either player. Nico's just going to cause the break here. Now Chen's sitting on 0 X tokens, 10 points behind, and no enclosures. Does have snapping though. Out of all these, I'd probably be most interested in the Geologists. Takes the Wolverine. Boost Association could be useful, but I really don't. I'm not sure we have time to build a 3 size for it. Okay, yeah, we do have the 5 size for that. Bison. Good time to get clever as well. We can get cards out of the way. Yes, really good timing here. So Amazon House can... Oh, actually, no, it's very awkward again. We want to play Amazon House, but we're missing the rep. But we also want to play animals, so the solution might just be I don't know. Have to play Bison here. Are they crazy enough to go for second university here? We'll see. Nico just building. I think the time for chaos is well past us, but if they're building a 1 and 2, then it just helps fill the map, I guess. Wow, Chen does just grab second university. So that will give rep number 6. I guess normally I'm critical of this if it's a move that won't give points, but upgrading cards here probably will give some points. We're about to get 1 rep from Amazon House, potentially 2 rep from 8 CP, another rep from Animals, so we're all of a sudden at 10 rep in a very short amount of time. Nico does cards. Okay, drawing them one at a time. Okay, Quarantine, draw Geologist. Drawn one more would have hit the Koala. Chen plays Amazon House, and yeah, he's going to take the 2 rep at 8 CP. Okay, it fits up here like this. Yeah, that 10 rep also denying the Koala, so nice pick up there. Nico going to spend an extra to do Animals at 5. Yeah, there's the Panda. So Panda into 4 herbivores as we expected. Taking 5 money over instead of 3 cards. Plays a Water Dragon as well. Oh, the really interesting thing is we also have a University on 16 rep. And neither player's grabbed an Animal University yet. Chen building a 3 size before doing Animals, 3 size on Pavilion. So we're probably looking to play Bison and Koala. Oh, Bison and Koala actually gives 5 Herbies, so it gives 5 Americas and 5 herbivores. Nico does take player sponsor for money as reward after doing 4 Herbies, up to 72 points. Gets the 10 money. Okay, both players discard here. It's another tough call. What actually is it? It seems like Chen... Is Chen actually going to be able to do 2 more projects? That's the question. Because 2 more projects with Conservation Zoo is 3 CP. Specialized Species doesn't look like it's getting any more CP. It's sea animals, but we don't have any aquarium space, so it's pretty much capped at 2 CP. So Conservation Zoo should just always be better, I guess. Nico also donating for free, thanks to the X token Asos. Yeah, 75 points with a lot of money. The problem is no empty enclosures, so Nico almost has to cause another break here, which we might see this move, but still no enclosures for next round, so maybe going to build first. But yeah, Chen does play Koala and Bison. Yeah, pouching the Rhino. The Rhino is not really necessary anymore because we already have 2 5 CP projects that we can do. And that's how you catch up score, up to 71. Okay, Nico builds a 4 size here. While Chen actually does cards before doing a project. Which is funny, because in Chen's position, you don't really need to do cards before doing it. Like, the 2 projects is enough to cross, just barely. But I guess getting extra cards here would help find a sponsor to play for money. Well, it draws all from the deck, which I hate, but does hit Hydrologist and Sponsorship Primates, and both of them are playable sponsors, so that's a very fortunate draw. Hydra even hitting the end game of having all 3 water spots connected. Nico does a 2 reputation move here, which I don't know if... Oh, okay, it's interesting. 2 rep plus donation. Now we do animals at 5, we get the university. Gets to 81. Yeah, Chen starts with Americas first. Plays the Hydro for money. Up to 91. But yeah, Chen has no way of ending this round, I don't believe. Can get close. A 2 rep action would get to 94. But not enough money to play any animals. Yeah, Nico does just spend 2 X's to play animals. Grabs the Herbivore Uni on 16 rep. Long time coming. And with the university, hits a Moose. Unfortunately for Nico, no 4-size Herbivore to flock it with. But we do have a 4-size enclosure here. He instead decides to play the long-billed Vulture. And Chameleon to get to 99. Snaps up sponsorship vultures, so at least 1 sponsor to play during the break. Hey Andreas, happy Friday. Yeah, this is... So, Vulture is actually the correct play once you have the knowledge of Nico's cards and endgames. But I was for sure thinking Moose as well, just to hit the Meerkat Den endgame. And yeah, 1 point short of ending. Because if Nico just gets 1 more point here, the game's over. I think Nico just straight up wins by quite a bit. Maybe not quite a bit. I think Nico does win, though, with 1 more point. But Chen does get time to cause the break here. And that's just perfect to be able to support 5 herbivores after the break. So, just 1 point difference at some stage of the game could have been the win for Nico. Maybe, just maybe, getting the Herbivore University earlier and doing Herbies at 5 instead of 4. Hard to say, because hand size did help, obviously. Doesn't particularly matter what we snap here, but yeah, play Sponsorship Primates just for an extra point. And Nico will end the game playing Geologist during the break, so both players get 1 more turn. Unfortunately, Nico doesn't have Geologist endgame hit. And Chen is actually sitting on some decent endgames. Native Lizards over here for 1 shield. School Tours is hit. Hydrologist is hit, so 3 endgame shields showing versus 0. Yeah, Nico's last project is just Reptiles 2, which is not going to be enough here. Not compared to Herbivores 5. But yeah, Nico still does finish with a point lead, but the endgames aren't good enough. Only Climbing Park for 2. So the fact that there was Geologist there does make the Vulture a better play, I think. Because Vulture's just worth more than the Moose anyway, and then you also get the extra 3 appeal from Geologist. So actually, if the game had lasted 1 more turn, Nico would have just ended with Geologist anyway, but yeah. Chen does win this one by 5. reasonably quick 29 turn game, 5 breaks. Fairly low project game. Saw both players getting those double universities, and Nico also grabbing a partner zoo before doing a project. But just really old school from Chen, focusing on the 5 CP projects, like maxing out Americas, maxing out reptiles, maxing out herbivores, getting all 3 of them. And I guess some really nice middle game points with Amazon House for free. Hydra also gave a lot of appeal for free. So a lot of extra work from sponsors, although Meerkat Den did a ton of work over here as well. Yeah, I wonder. Earlier Herbie University, I think, was a big miss from Nico. Probably just allowing Nico to support Herbivores 4 even earlier in the game, because this was a fairly late support. Still was a close one. And we have another Chen game for our second game today. This one over on Outdoor Areas against Ashes. So we have sunbathing sponsors. You can discard a sponsor card to get 4 money. When it's upgraded, you can discard any card to get 4 money or reduce the strength required by 2 for a sponsor. And this is trading sponsors, just trading X tokens for 5 money or 5 money for X token. Yeah, like I said with the association, I'm really not a fan of this. We do have Australia and Europe, so maybe it's a bit more interesting to get a couple of Europe partner zoos or something, but I think generally it's not worth it. I think generally it's better to diversify your partner zoos because it makes more animals playable that you may find in the future, as opposed to just giving more of a discount. Chen decides to start with sunbathing sponsors, which I agree with. Han would be very surprised if he doesn't pick up Pavilion Build here. I think these two are just a pretty clear keep. Pavilion Build in particular useful for getting the partner zoo a bit earlier. It's allowing you to loop around here or come across the top way. Don't know about this opening hand though. End goal's Architectural Designer Zoo. Designer Zoo is a really tough end goal to hit. I don't think I've actually seen someone get 4 CP from it before. If you do, it feels like you're compromising your map a lot, or maybe it's just really there for those of us who do upgrade build, and then you can build like your Aviary or Reptile House or whatever and get the extra shapes that way. But it feels like a really tough one to hit 8 on. Architectural, also not a huge fan on this map. It just feels quite hard to do. But we'll see. So, yeah, we have basically nothing that matches the projects. Like, literally nothing. We have a Komodo dragon for a reptile, but it's the most unplayable reptile ever. I'd be pretty tempted to start the jungle project here, just given how tough these projects are. I think Geologist is also the strongest card here, probably. I guess the question is, do you start the Macaque for the jungle? It's not a great release. It forces you to start a partner that doesn't match a base project, so I think you can skip that. Maybe the plan is just keep extra sponsors to discard for money. So I could see like Seabirds and Basic Research, something like that. Even the reef animal is pretty tempting as well. Chances decides to keep this, then undoes the move and decides to keep all 4 sponsors. So this is one of the things where these new unique action cards really change the way that you play and draft and, yeah, pick your starting cards. Because Free Range Monkeys is a pretty trash card, but Everything else in the opening game was pretty rubbish as well, but this can at least be traded for 4 money, which we're going to see very early on. And look at all the projects here. Ashes is first play with a Sos on 4, so might just grab a Partners War Uni first. But yeah, we do have a sea anemone for Australia here. You could have an idea of starting like a herbivore university to get the herbivore management plan, but there's a lot of herbivores that have steep requirements, and then I think roughly 50% of the time you're going to miss on a playable herbivore, which makes it a very high risk play. I would agree that taking jungle. Yeah, not too punished. Also, large animals is large animals got such a buff in Marine World, because now you only need 1 large animal to do the first step of it. So that's always a card you have to watch out for. This is one of the ways you can do early projects. And aquatic as well, of course. Aquatic, where you can build your 2 aquariums and get 2 water tags, also another one to watch out for. Ashes just starts with Science 2 Rep University. Oh, also worth noting, Ashes has digging cards and trading sponsors. Chen starting with hand size, okay. First move, Ashes gonna build a 4 size over player sponsor for money. And playing a Baboon Rock, okay, I like it. And I like taking away the sea anemone from range. That's a good play. Also looks like Ashes has ideas of maybe building a small aquarium here, grabbing Australia Partner Zoo, just doing 2 Australia with the sea anemone that they scrapped. Chen is going to start by playing Geologist, selling the free range monkeys. Goodbye. Duke incoming, potentially. Ash is going to start by Xing back cards. So I don't mind the idea of getting some X tokens, because trading them for 5 money this early in the game is pretty significant. Something like a break 5 would go from 11 money to 21 money. Chen does cards first. Yeah, we don't really know what we want to build here without any animal cards. Does hit a pretty playable sea turtle, honestly. We have to start with an aquarium then, I guess. Opponent does break. And I think this is a very just good heads-up play from Chen. Just decides to break 2 here. The thing is, Chen doesn't even lose anything, because you can sell a sponsor during your sponsor 2 action. So you discard it for 4 money. Break 2 calls the break, get the X token. Basic research goes. We know Chen is not a huge sponsor upgrader, so I'm not too surprised to see it. I think the Primatologist has a lot of value when your opponent's played Baboon Rock, but I like the idea of causing the break here before your opponent plays a big 4 size animal, because we don't really have a fantastic animal to play. And yeah, Ashes does have to discard a card. Where do you build a large aquarium? That's a good question. It probably has to be somewhere down the bottom of the map here. It's not the easiest thing to place without having build upgraded. Yeah, I think the opponent should be pretty interested in large animals project here, considering they built a 4 size. They can still go for that aquarium line and get to Australia. I don't know that I'm the biggest fan of them grabbing a second university, but okay. If they were going to grab a university, I do like that it's Primate University. Just give instant 2 appeal, find another primate. They get a squirrel monkey, not bad. Chen does build the large aquarium here, and also an extra pavilion over the rep. Ashes does build a small aquarium to grab Australia, so not surprised at seeing that. I'm a bit surprised not doing 2 Australia straight away, though. Chen just grabbed. So this is the second game in a row we've seen Chen just grab 2 standard universities. Hand size, science 2 rep. I guess this round Animal University was not an option. Maybe can get the Reptile University later. We see just classic animals and build upgraded. Ashes plays the Northern Muriqui, which has a Monkey Gang ability, which gives another primate. But now, thankfully, we know that they don't have jungle. But they should be very interested in this large animals project, I think. And it gives a Mantled Gariza from Monkey Gang. And plays the Sea Anemone for 2 Australia later. I think primates did get a pretty big buff. Because there are a couple of them with Monkey Gang abilities, which just lets you find more primates. There's the Primate Management Plan, which has a Monkey Search ability. And then there's also the Primate University. So the biggest problem with primates in the base game is that they were harder to find because there were less of them. But with these new universities and abilities, it's just easier to find these primates. So Baboon Rock could legitimately be a pretty A-tier card in Marine World. I think it is, clearly. Chen doing a pretty slow build 2 action, but this is something that I do like to do against Mark. We see Ashes played the Sea Anemone and Mark the Rock Monitor. I like just building a 2 size and drawing it up. Your opponent would much prefer to get the card than the 2 money most of the time, so just take away the card. It's relevant for the project as well, so like this is 2 reptiles if we want it. Can still afford both with building the pavilion. Oh, we also have a primate breeding program appear. Interesting. Ash is doing cards here with digging. I'd probably dig away the reef animal, even though both players have an aquarium. Ash is going to run out of room very soon, but having all this open space, I just get rid of the surgeon fish. Good move. Still so many projects here as well. Yeah, I'd be very tempted by large animals, also by primate breeding program. Does draw from the deck. Maybe trying to hit a sponsor as well. Chen plays both. Don't mind selling this native seabirds here. Could have done that in the opposite order, so I think playing the sea turtle makes more sense first, because we get to... Ah, no, never mind. Playing the rock monitor first gives the sea turtle an extra scuba dive, so now it's actually scuba dive 3, so just better odds of hitting a sponsor. But of course, you won't ever hit a sponsor. Not digging away the reptile breeding. I'm more scared of the reef, personally. I think there's so many projects here that maybe you do mind about the reptile breeding, but... And yeah, there's no monkeys in Australia, so it wouldn't make sense to have monkeys in Australia in Ark Nova. Hey. Asher's gonna build here. Okay, I understand the logic. I think building to get this X token and then trade it. Maybe hoping Chen does cards here so that Ashes can cause the break on with 5, but Chen is gonna play the Primatologist first. Then Ashes will break 5, trade that X token for more money. And Chen will just cause break. Pretty good reef hit. Also Thorny Devil double project. Now we're getting very close to Reptiles 5. But it's kind of awkward for Chen because there's no project to do next round. Unless we can get this reptile breeding program somehow. Maybe the idea is that we can fully build, get Australia Partner Zoo, drop the reptile breeding, or get Africa Partner Zoo even. Ashes does have to discard 2. Yeah, projects are slowly running out though. They will not, like we're seeing a lot of them, they won't be around forever. Yeah, okay, Ashes has Australia 2. 2 size I don't mind here. Maybe would have liked to see Snapping to take away one of the breeding programs. But 2 size is fine. He has plans with the enclosures, does upgrade cards as well. Oh yeah, of course we can also just dig away these projects and then it's not a problem anymore. Chen does just grab... I was very surprised to see Europe Partner Zoo here. Ark Nova is still the biggest game on BGA by far. I don't have the exact stats, but I think it's by a long, long way. Yeah, Europe kind of threw me for a loop. I guess just really trying to get matching both base cons, and we get Australia here guaranteed anyway. Possibly grabbing Americas or Africa would make Ashes more likely to dig away the reptile breeding program. But yeah, just matching both base. We've seen Chen likes to just focus on the base conservation projects, like laser focused on them. Ashes does animals with a SOS upgrade. I like. Yeah, Gariza. Unfortunately, all these monkeys are giving Chen money. It's a bit unfortunate. Okay, just the Gariza. Gets to Clever back build. Good use of Clever. Chen does get to fully build here and draw up this reptile breeding program, which I think they'd be interested in. Yeah, there's Australia Partner Zoo. Upgrade sponsors. Maybe looking to play native lizards directly from range. Yeah, it does get the projects. Ooh, Herpetologist appears as well. If I'm Ashes, I'm probably digging away lizards and herpetologists. Or drawing them up. Yeah, Herp can go. We'll get rid of the Europe release. Okay. Guess that can make sense. We saw Chen grab Europe Partner Zoo. Okay, draws up primate breeding native lizards. Random card. Raccoon. Raccoon makes a lot of sense with the brown bear here. Makes the brown bear playable. Chen gonna play the Thorny Devil and the Filefish. The first of the reef, but we can use it to... Very bizarre. I'm not a fan at all of these clevering back sponsors actions when it's upgraded. It feels incredibly wrong, especially when money is tight this game. But I think Chen really wants to snap up this adder. But you can still leave... We'll see. We know Ashes has the native lizards to play, so they're not causing break here. And Chen just draws from the deck. Does hit a Rhino. Sponsorship Primates doesn't really do too much here. Ashes doing build at 3. Okay, it's building a 2 size. Chen X's back animals. Ashes X's back cards. Chen plays Science Library. Choosing not to discard. With Upgrade, you can discard any card for extra money, but yeah, we want to keep both of these for sure. Everything on paper says Ashes should be ahead by a mile here. Ahead in points. Money's kind of even. But also Ashes has just an empty 5 size and an empty 2 size and 2 size reward already. I guess Chen's slightly ahead in upgrades and has a large aquarium. Ashes just gonna do sponsors at 3 and then trade an X token to 5 money. So now, if they have an animal to play, they probably can afford it. Chen gonna allow that and just build a 4 size for the Rhino. And a pavilion because we get extra money from Geologist. Ashes does have money for an animal. Yep, okay, plays that Squirrel Monkey. So much Baboon Rock value. Chen just gonna cause break. Actually spending an X to do cards, just really wants to snap up this adder. And hopefully a wave's gonna appear. Yeah, the brown bear dies. That's pretty unfortunate for the opponent. I think it really depends what's in your zoo, whether snapping or 2 size is better. I think if you have something like a large aquarium, then snapping is better for sure, because you can just get random fish like this, which you don't need enclosures for. Which is also a Europe tag, by the way, so to be pretty interested in that. But 2 size obviously still useful as well. Using the 2 sides to get the Kookaburra. Yeah, the Kookaburra has quite a bit of value here, both players having 2 Australia tags already. Ashes starts with a cards 4 action. Now, does Ashes have a project to do? It would seem like the answer is no. Maybe there's something that Ashes really wants to dig away. Digs from hand. Chooses not to do a second dig. Okay, takes Ornithologist. I don't know about that. Takes Quarantine Lab. I'm not sure the purpose of this move. Takes away all 3 sponsors from display. This feels like an extremely slow move when they have a very strong lead. And I don't understand the purpose of it. It does just completely clear the display because 3 waves show up. Gobi, Ras, Marine Research Expedition. Bison. Yeah, I mean, luckily the Water Dragon disappeared. I thought for sure digging that away would have made sense. But I think Chen should be pretty happy to see the Ras here. We'll see. Anyway, Chen just starts with the reptile breeding program. Just takes 5 money. And upgrades cards. Maybe enough money to play the Ras and the Adder. Then we can do another project, although... Yeah, actually, we're really just missing another reptile. So this could be the time to get Reptile University. Unfortunately for Ashes, only grabbing Partner Zoo here. Yeah, no projects to do. Upgrading sponsors. I mean, yeah. just choosing not to upgrade build, which I do like. I think the plan is now play the two of the sponsors that just got drawn up, the Quarantine Lab and the Field Orcas, whatever it's called. This is a bit mean from Chen, but Xing back build here. I think just really setting up this Hypnosis. But yeah, unfortunately, Quarantine Lab, bam. Okay, so actually the Quarantine Lab makes a lot more sense. The adder was public knowledge. So yeah, the problem is we're just giving Chen a lot of money by doing this with the science library, but Quarantine Lab will definitely pay for itself here, avoiding the Hypnosis. Choosing not to trade for money or X token. Now Chen doesn't have to wait anymore, but doing cards. Cards at 3. Maybe the best cards 3 action I've ever seen. Reef Animal, Reptile, both Australia, 4 Australia, 5 Reptiles. We also have an enclosure for the monitor. I was thinking for sure this Wrath is coming in. I guess the backup plan for Chen would have been grabbing like Reptile University or something. Yeah, that's a very, very fortunate draw. Ash is going to play an Eagle Owl and the Gobi from range. Marks the Wrath. Yeah, here we go. Okay, draws a Dusky Leaf from 10 rep. I would have been pretty tempted to deny the Wrath. I don't know. Okay, we're going to see both the Reptiles. Oh, the Brown Bear comes back. Both seem pretty unplayable, though. Yeah, choosing to play the Octopus right now. Not... Okay, this is just for 4 Australia next. So the adder can wait. Well, we probably want to find a better reptile than the adder, because it only gives 2 points and no Hypnosis, so I understand that. Clever's cards back. They're probably just looking to break 5 and then do Australia 4. The Wrath is an interesting one because I think Extra Shifts is a great ability, but we'd have to build another aquarium for it. But it's not that big of a deal because we have build upgraded. Ashes spends an X to play the Ornithologist here. I don't know about the merits of playing an Ornithologist right at this point. It feels like they had a big point lead, but now scores have leveled up, but we know Chen has 2 big projects incoming. It seems like Ashes is just kind of out of cards. And spending an X to play Ornithologist is incredibly slow. And also trades 5 money for a reputation to get to 10. Oh, this gives the bird management plan. Maybe regretting not picking up some of their projects earlier. Okay, does get a playable project now. I guess Chen's going to break here because Ashes can do a project, but Chen can't. Oh yeah, we can also discard the Brown Bear for money. Yeah, and now we'll just suddenly look at the money difference. 60 money to 30. I think part of that is due to the science library, part of it's due to us breaking 10 as well. Okay, really interesting point in the game. I think Ashes makes a pretty huge blunder here. Yeah, this is like the turning point. I think in Ashes, like, we have the Bison and America's release. This is such a good project. Ashes can do it straight away. I think you have to take cards to just get both of them. Even Geological's a project, you can just take that or dig it away. Ashes even has the 5 size ready, but what Ashes does here is a complete momentum killer. Ashes decides to do... Is it third Partner Zoo? Yeah, third Partner Zoo and donate. Now, it does the same thing of getting the 3 card draw, then we can get America's Release and Bison. But it's a really useless Partner Zoo. And it puts our Essos back at 1 when we have no X tokens. Oh yeah, I mean, it's even a good project just for the Miracle, but Bison release is even better, and it's playable. So, I mean, you definitely want to get the Bison and the release. So yeah, Ashes gets to get those 3 cards, but I think just doing it with a cards action is much, much cleaner. And also the fact that Chen has 60 money, Ashes is the person that wants the break here. With such a money disadvantage, like, Ashes is very happy if there's a break, so you don't have to worry about pushing the break too. You actually do want to be pushing the break. So I think that's probably the game-losing move. We know Chen's just very happy doing Australia 4 here, just grabbing a worker to be able to do Reptiles 5 this round as well. And yeah, even getting the 5 size enclosure for Chen is just amazing tempo. Don't have to build for the Rhino. Yeah, now Ashes is just Xing back cards after all that. Chen spending an X to build. Okay, we have a pretty nice reptile house down here, actually. So we can move the turtle and the monitor. And this was bizarre. This is really bizarre. So the only reason I can think of for doing this is Chen is saying, I'm never building again for the rest of the game. Just let me get 2 architectural endgame shields and we'll call it a day. But Chen just straight up builds a pavilion over the player sponsor for money. Just to touch the last water. No sponsor to play. Yeah, big spoilers. I mean, I think we can pretty clearly see the path for Chen to end. There's Rhino projects that you can do Rhino Dusky Leaf for habitats. You have 5 reptiles, so I mean, that's 30 points in projects roughly. And then 14 points in animals. There's empty enclosures everywhere. Yeah, it could have been a very decent sponsorship reptiles play for later. The money's not relevant, but it's still like a good 5 appeal. Okay, Ashes plays the Bison, nothing else. Chen gonna play the Adder just to get the 5th reptile. Could have actually played the Scuba Diving Turtle. Maybe a better play, because it does fit in a combination of the reptile house and the... Well, I mean, it just fits in the aquarium anyway. There's also a Europe tag, so maybe a little bit surprised we're not seeing it. Okay, we are seeing it as well. Okay, we're playing the Adder first and then Scuba Diving 10. Bam. Well, I mean, you're going to hit Conference on Europe as well. This is a pretty cool turtle, actually, because it lets you scuba dive and then mark it. I actually don't mind this guy. I'm going to straight up play the Conference on Europe immediately. Hey, realize. I believe you can choose where you put the cubes. I think we just saw all the cubes go on the aquarium. But I think you should be able to put a cube on the reptile house. But maybe I'm wrong on that. I haven't actually tried it. I mean, just in case you need more projects, now Chen just suddenly has 4 Europe as well. So this is the 2nd game in a row. Just 4 Australia, 5 reptiles, 4 Europe. Even 5 Europe if the wolf comes down. Ashes plays the Gorilla Field Research. Takes away the Wolf. Plays the Sponsorship Reptiles. Trades an X token for more money. Chen is spending an X to do... Yeah, important to do the project here. This extra shift is a pretty big deal, actually. Oh, actually, is it? This extra shift actually doesn't do too much. Extra shift lets you take back one worker, but then you still can't do another project. So I'd almost just take away the 10 money away from Ashes, but Chen does decide to go for extra shift. And yeah, it does keep architectural for those 2 shields. Ashes spends an X to do the Bison release. And X tokens, which I agree with. Does get the 10 money. Yeah, I'm just wondering how much cleaner this would have been if Ashes just did cards earlier. And had 2 workers. I guess wouldn't have had the workers, but would have had much better Assault strength. Was the Monkey better than Loggerhead? I don't know. Loggerhead gave a Scuba Diving 10 and Playing Conference on Europe. I think it was pretty good. Do extra shift before. That's a good point. What was the first project this round? For Australia, right? Oh, the Snub-Nosed Monkey. Maybe that's a good call. That's a little interesting tactic, right? You can play the Snub-Nose to get to 8 CP, get your worker back, and then do 2 projects that round. That's a good call. I missed that. But Chen just going to do cards at 3 here. I guess really wants to drop this Expert on Australia. Which is just a lot of points for free right now. Cowfish, but unfortunately no room in the aquarium. Ash is going to build a large aquarium. Playing Expert on Oz. Yeah, we can pouch the Cowfish because no room for it. Ash is Xing back cards. Chen spending an X to do animals, so yeah, we're going to see Rhino and Dusky Leaf. Not threatening to end the game just yet, though. But Ashes is going to cause break with Sponsors 7. I guess the thing is, if you let Chen just spend this worker, then it's a 2 CP university. So not ideal. Yeah, Ashes just going to cause break. Unfortunately, yeah, maybe this is where snapping would have been a lot better, but no snapping here. Ashes puts the 2 sides over the rep, so I mean, actually a good idea. Gets Ashes to 15 rep, and then Animals will get to 16 rep, and this 3 posturing. Yeah, this was an unfortunate eagle. Because Chen has just an enclosure sitting here ready to go. And there's no way Ashes can deny this eagle. So Chen just goes bam, eagle. I guess just getting to 13 rep in case we find a small reptile to fit anywhere or a flocking animal. But it does not hit. Yeah, just plays eagle straight into doing habitat diversity to end the game. And don't you worry, guys, it's actually a close finish. I mean, Chen only has Architectural Zoo for 2. Architectural Geologist Science Library. So 4 in-game shields. In-game shields over here for Ashes is Quarantine Lab. And that's it, but we do have some big animals coming in. And pavilions. And Baboon Rock, because we're about to see a big nose. Just wondering how long this big nose was sitting around for. Because I felt like that 5 size was built in round 1 or 2. And I have to wonder if Ashes has had it for that long. Big nose and the wrasse. We know the wrasse got marked into the hand earlier. So that's the reason for the large aquarium. And actually gets really close, up to 98. Imagine if Ashes has one more turn here, just being able to do Primates 5 as a project. But yeah, also the eagle showing up for Chen just gave Chen an extra 8 points for nothing. A little bit unfortunate there. Yeah, only climbing park for 2, so it is a 10-point game, 120 to 110. So, just imagine no eagle and a slightly better endgame. Ashes wins this. But yeah, I do think the massive losing move was grabbing Asia Partner Zoo. Because it really only just... It didn't give us last CP for another worker. It gave us a 3 discount on the monkey. Really didn't do too much. But yeah, just taking cards would have been a lot cleaner to get the bison. Then you can just do animals at 4, play bison, release it while your Esos is on 5. Just much better for action order. I think even just grabbing 3rd uni at that point in time would have been better. Probably. So you can grab like hand size, you get 2 CP and a rep. You don't even need to donate to get to 5 CP and draw the cards. That's a good point. I mean, Chen did get a very lucky break with that cards 3 action, hitting the octopus and the Gould's Monitor with a cards 3 action. That was something. I mean, not only these two, but the fact that there were empty enclosures for both of them, room in the aquarium and the random 4 size here. That was a very fortunate cards action. Yeah, I'm curious to see how long Chen is gonna sit at the top 4, because obviously having a lot of success so far this early in the arena season, and just still upgrading build 95% of games, so I want to see how it stacks up. Because I'm not sure if build upgrade is stronger or weaker with the Marine World expansion, but I have a feeling it's weaker. But Chen is defying that at the moment. But yeah, still a long way to go, and people are still learning the expansion. Chen just lost, actually. Against Big Fish. Maybe that's a game for next week, but yeah, that's all we're going to look at today. Thank you all for tuning in. How many turns was that game? I don't think it was particularly fast. 31. 31, 32. Yeah, I mean, build upgrade is stronger building a small aquarium, but then it's also weaker because you can build a large aquarium, so it kind of works both ways, but I think if you do get the unique build action cards, then it is stronger. So I think even myself, if I get the unique build action cards like Pavilion build or Build over Rock Water, I should probably just look to upgrade build. Because I feel like the unique action cards you get, you probably should look to upgrade them, but something that we're still figuring out. Yeah, anyway, thanks all for watching. Have a good rest of the day, and see you guys on Sunday for the BGA gameplay. Good night.